Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Authentic Conversations with Entrepreneurs. This is our 7th episode, and I am thrilled to have Bisi MacGregor here with us. She is a life and mindset coach and founder of Fear to Freedom. But you also should know her as the fearless, not fearless, fearless, hence what the words in the background there, coach. So thank you so much for being here, Bisi. If I can, before we kick off, talk about, this show is all about what you hear here, right? Authentic conversations. And what I mean by that is I think we need to break down the barrier of what business success really looks like and what it takes to get there. It's about, the highlighting the journey of an entrepreneur and the authentic stories along the way, the stories that really help to ignite your business and share what it's truly all about, the values and the vision. So I am excited to talk about breaking through the grip of fear with the fearless coach, Bisi. So, I think I just am so excited about this topic because I think that you cannot be a business owner and an entrepreneur without feeling some level of fear. So I think that it's going to be a very relatable topic for our viewers. And if I can ask you, of course, I'll hush up and let you say hi, Bisi, but I want to ask you, what does this phrase mean to you? And when did you first come to hear it?
First off, thank you. I'm super excited to be here and especially excited that I'm episode 7. It's my favorite number. Yeah, I am. I'm super excited to be here. And this is one of my favorite topics, breaking through the grip of fear. And like you rightfully said, there isn't a business owner or entrepreneur that wouldn't go through fear. And for me, there is no human out here go through fear.
It goes beyond business.
Check yourself,
Right.
But when was the first time, oh my goodness, breaking through the grip of fear? That's a huge question.
Like when I was 5.
Seriously, because I feel like I've felt the grip of fear for a very long time in my
I got
life.
goosebumps when you said that. Yeah.
At different points in my life, from
Yeah.
10, 11, 14. I mean, I remember bringing a report card home because I wanted to change schools, and my report was not the best that year for whatever reason. First time for me, first time for the family. And I remember being gripped by this thing. And it was really showing it to my parents and just hedging against, oh my God, they're going to be so disappointed. What is going to happen? And I could feel this thing in my body today, retrospectively. It was
Yeah.
fear.
Yeah.
It was this grip of fear of disappointing the people that loved me or expected all kinds of things of me. And then fast forward, I could, speak to being in a lucrative corporate career, successful by my own rights and by the, looks of a lot of people.
All those external measures, right?
All the external measures, yeah, and even internal for me. Like it was at some point where I wanted to be. I went to school, undergrad, MBA. I want to go here, and this is what I want to do. And I was there, and then all of a sudden, I get this visitation. You're meant to do something different. And then it's
that visitation.
Yeah, but wait, what do you mean different? I cannot begin something different now. I've invested 10, 12 years of education, of work in this thing. No, I can't just, no. And then I see glimpses of the possibilities, but it's like, no, I don't know. So that was a huge one for me.
Did fear creep in at that point?
That's all fear. All of that dialogue or monologue was all fear. Leave the job now to do what?
Right.
You've invested how many years of education? You've invested over 2 decades in the corporate space, and you want to go build something for yourself. You've never done it before. Fear says, wait. Yeah, see, you've never done it before. Let's just.
Of course, you should fear it because you've never done it before, right?
You've done it before. Yeah.
So obviously, we know you didn't get stuck there. So how did you how did you get to the breakthrough part, and
Mm.
what was the journey along the way?
Whew. No, I didn't get stuck
We don't have
there.
a full hour just to tell you.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I was stuck there for a while.
Mm,
If I were to speak candidly, I would say I overstayed my time in corporate by 4 to 6 years. However, on the flip side, I also know that I needed that extra time to be where I am today. But
right.
what happened though along the journey is I climbed the corporate ladder. Fine, I
Mhm.
was, a star player, star employee, and had teams that I managed. And one of the things that I loved about corporate was my role, where I was always in a leadership type of role. So I had people that I always managed. And
Mhm.
they loved me for it. There was something that I brought to the table for them, and it was building their potential, like drawing out their
Mm.
potential. I loved it. I was in finance, by the way.
Yeah.
So
So not really in the criteria for the job.
at all. So, but
Right.
what I realized was I'd been coaching for as long as I can remember.
Mm.
Been coaching, and finally, when I got hit by So I'll share this. A few years ago, I took on an international assignment with my corporate job. So I was out there for 2 years, helping to build out the subsidiary out there
Where's
in
there?
Nigeria.
Okay.
And upon coming back, things did not work out the way we expected. Not me, not the organization, all of that.
Mhm.
And upon coming back, it was kind of coming back to a what we would call a failure.
Mm.
And it was, oh my God, here you are, this star employee. Now you come back from this mission and you're not glowing with stars. Who are you? So,
Mhm.
walk in the hallways like this. But
You're
it
like
was
Fear's
really,
cousin is shame. Is that?
right? Exactly. It really has a whole bunch of minions, the shame,
Yeah.
doubt,
Yeah.
blame, overwhelm, all those things.
Mm.
But I remember walking the hallways with my head down, and not only was I going through this thing internally with this this job, but this organization that I absolutely loved, but on a personal front as well, my marriage was crumbling.
Mm.
So here I am. I go to work facing this thing. I go back home facing this thing. But it really was a call to
Mm.
Bissy, who are you? What do you want? And that's when I realized for different amounts of periods of time, I had been trapped in this thing. Fear had trapped me in these things, in a job that I thought, I had this checklist. This is the
Mhm.
way it's supposed to go. You go to school, you check this, and then you get married and you have the kids.
Right. Right.
And I was checking all the boxes, but everything in here was just not
Disconnected. Right. Yeah.
disconnected
Yeah.
completely. So that's
I,
when the whole journey kind of, all right, we got
yeah.
to do something different.
So, can you take us to a moment where this breakthrough happened? I mean, I imagine it's kind of a build up, like domino effect, if you will. But what's a moment that seems most that you can recollect right now in this
Mhm.
moment, like right
In this
now? Like,
moment.
yeah, a lot of moment there.
Yeah. One of those moments, these fear moments.
What do you
Um,
recall?
yeah. So I'll tell you, I remember, so after just maybe 18 months, head down, just kind of doing my work, but just not really going to the cafeteria, not really mingling, but something, I felt like I was growing, but I didn't have the space to grow. So think
Mm,
about it, you're wearing tight shoes, and now you're a size 10, but you're fitting your feet into a size 6. It's just something just was not. It felt so uncomfortable. And I remember asking a colleague then who used to go on all kinds of retreats, and I said to ask her, like, what is this retreat that you've been to? Because I need to go be.
mhm.
And
I
they
like
kind of
that.
lean
Go
in
be.
and they're waiting for the rest of the conversation, rest of the statement. I said, no, 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 that's it. I need to
Yeah.
go
Period.
be. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
That's it. And she told me where it was. So I ended up signing up for this 3-day weekend thing at the Kripalu Yoga and Meditation Center in Massachusetts.
Nice.
So I said, all right, I'm going to go out here. And I was, brave. I signed up and all that. And I remember there was a seminar that was going on there. And as soon as I saw it, the seminar said, fearless living, live the life that your soul was intended. And when I read it, I swear it said, fearless living, Bisi, go live the life your soul was intended. So I signed up.
Yeah.
I signed up. And here's the thing, talking about fear and being, in the grip of fear. I remember driving. So then I lived in New Jersey, and it would have been a 4.5 hour drive to this place.
Mhm.
I remember driving and I was excited. Like, yes, this is it. I'm going to go be 3 days of just 2 hours in. I remember hearing that you don't know anybody there.
Yep.
What are you going to go do? You have no clue. You've never been there. You don't know anyone there.
What are
But
you thinking? Yeah.
what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Listen, if you slow down, you don't even have to go the speed limit. Just slow it down. You don't have to get to that fearless living, live the life your soul was intended.
Mhm.
And I would slow that down. And then, there's another piece of me that comes up and says, what the heck? This is what we signed up for. And then you speed it up and all of that. Eventually I got there. And
Mhm.
I walked into this room. She had already started, I think 45 minutes in, after I kept having all kinds of battle with fear, walked in. And I tell you, Katherine, something inside of me recognized exactly her. It was like my soul spoke to her soul, and I just knew it. And in that moment, something said, this is it. This is what you're meant to be doing. So I said to myself, I said, all right, fine. I will talk to this person afterwards to shadow her. I don't care where she came from. I want to shadow. I want to learn how she does this. And that was Rhonda Britton. She's the founder of the Fearless Living Institute. And this is what she does. So right there, I signed up to go back to school for a year and get trained as a life coach.
Wow.
Those moments, those moments.
I mean, there's so much there, and I so appreciate you sharing those details, Bitsy, because I think that, I love that you said you felt a call. I
Mhm.
mean, and that, it's one thing we can listen to our heads, and gosh, there's so much that wants to be said and heard there, right? But you listen, I mean, wherever you want to say it comes from, but like I think heart to heart, like soul to soul,
Mhm.
there's a different voice to be heard.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful that you followed that. And I think, as much as I said, take us to that moment, it's almost as if you made your moment then, right?
Yeah. Yes. I
Do you
love it.
think that, I guess I want to go there next. Like, do you think, okay, I'll say in preparing for this conversation, you told me that today, let's fast forward a little bit, that today in your business as the fearless coach, fear still visits you every single day.
Every day.
So I think that can be relatable on many fronts for people. So, I mean, what tips would you offer? Like, what do you do when that happens? And
Mm.
is it about making a moment, a different moment, when you find yourself in that one?
I love that. Yes, yes, and yes. As a fearless
Okay,
coach,
short
get
answer.
visited by fear. And for me, it's in those. I love that you said it almost seems like you made that moment, like you made things. And for me, I believe that is true to a certain extent because I believe every moment offers us to be in service to fear or freedom. We're always at choice, always at choice. I think ultimately I would have been okay if I had turned around and gone back home.
Yeah.
I would have been okay in the long run. I may not be having this conversation with you July 2022. Maybe it would be July 2028. But I would have been okay. So yes, I do
I'm glad
believe.
it's today.
I'm glad it's today too. Oh gosh, yes. So yes, we do make our moments in a way, and it's by making these conscious, powerful, intentional decisions in the moment. And they don't always feel good. That's
Trust
another
me,
thing I think
always.
that is a misconception out there, that if it feels good and feels yay flowery, that means I'm on the right path. Sometimes the best decision does not feel good.
That
It
very
can
insightful. Yeah, yeah,
it can be scary.
yeah,
Leaving
yeah.
a corporate job where the salary is sure, I have a bonus, I have a beautiful office, I'm overlooking the Hudson River. Wait, and you're going to go start? You're going to have your office in your bedroom or in your basement? I mean, there's no what's going on. It is scary. It's really scary. So for me, it's really going back in and really connecting to the heart, like you said, your heart. What do you want? Like
Yeah.
connecting with our
Listening to that
desires.
second voice.
What do
Yeah.
you want? What do you desire? Because it's there. But
Yeah.
we've been conditioned to just think and believe that our desires aren't possible.
Mhm.
Or it's
Mhm.
going to take time, it's going to take effort, it's going to take all these things that I don't know, I don't have it,
There's
you
the
know?
overwhelm part of the cousin
Yeah,
overwhelm. Yeah.
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 So really listening to your heart is number one, and then making a decision from that place,
Oh,
from a
yeah.
place of
The action,
freedom,
right?
place of heart, place of love, as opposed to a place of fear.
Mm.
One of the things that I learned on this journey is a statistic that's out there that talks about more than 75% of our decisions are made by fear. They're rooted in fear.
Wow.
More than
I believe it.
75% of our decisions.
Yeah.
And I know people listen and say, oh, yeah, that decision I made. No, no, no. Every decision you make, and
Yeah.
we are making decisions. Should I wear those earrings? Should I wear that shirt? Should I wear it or not? Should I put my hair up, not put it up? Should I call her, not call her? Should I attend this live stream? No. We
Yeah.
are making decisions. And 75% of the time, each one is rooted in fear. And that
Wow.
only means we are on autopilot.
Mm.
That's what that
Mm.
means. Autopilot.
God, I'm so many goosebumps, Busy. So many. Like, I, gosh, it's. I mean, I have to just say for a moment, like, this is one of the things that I see so clearly in being, working in marketing and branding, that it makes sense to me. I think there's a relationship there. So much of marketing is about marketing to the fear in someone. What is that pain point? What is the problem?
Yeah.
That's something that I hope to resolve and bring a different perspective to. But I hear you loud and clear on that. I think you know so the other thought I had, about what you were sharing, you talked about almost being like confined or in a cage, or entrapped by fear, and then expanding. So visual, I love it. But do you think that, I guess, to me, the moment that I think you have to be in when you're in fear is a victim mode. Like, you feel that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, are you saying, the word I've often used is like transcend fear?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, I mean, is that how you would say it? Because I gave this presentation a couple years ago, pre-COVID, that likened it to a roller coaster in business, saying that entrepreneurs often go from hope to fear, and that you really have to, and I think that's what you're speaking to, it has to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hope feels good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what does that transcendence, or what does that freedom look like and feel like? If it's not good, what is it?
Yeah. So I love that you mentioned the visual, because the way I used to explain this was I was trapped in a blue drum. I don't know why it was blue, but it was blue.
Okay.
It was a blue drum. It was almost like I could see from the outside. It's, it has the lid on it and it has a padlock and it's locked. I'm inside of it. I'm growing, but I can't grow but to the capacity of the drum.
Right.
But what was interesting for me in the journey was, whilst I was in this padlocked drum, the key to the padlock was inside the drum with me.
Of course.
And I feel like that's
not outside. You're looking for it outside. Yeah.
Because we're looking for somebody. Hey, Bob, could you open up the drum for me? Hey, Catherine, could you open up the drum? But the key is inside. Even if they could help you, the key is inside of the drum. And that was so big for me. And when you talk about to hope to fear, I think one of the misconceptions is, as business entrepreneurs, even human, we think everything we need to be on a high. We need to be on a high. We need to be on a
Right,
high.
right.
And one of the biggest things that I've learned on this entrepreneurial journey is, who am I up here? Who am I down here? Who am I
Mhm.
up here? Who am I down here? Can I hold my power? Can I hold my authenticity? Can I hold myself in love? Can I hold myself in kindness? Can I still stay connected to my heart, that heart soul connection that we're talking about, when I'm up here and when I'm down here? When I'm up
Amen.
here, when I'm down here.
Yeah.
Can I hold myself? And that's for me, the
Mm.
transcendence and the moving through fear. Because
Yeah.
what happens with most, and happened with me, and sometimes I still get caught. We're good here. It's so easy for us to pull out the pom poms and to dance and to whistle and cling cling the champagne glasses when we're up here. But when we're down here, people just you know
All
that's
kinds of
it.
coping things they do, but not
This
necessarily grounded. And yeah,
right.
yeah,
So people unplug literally,
yeah,
completely, and then beat themselves up or blame themselves, compare while they're in the ditch, which just makes you stay there longer and longer. But can you hold yourself through? Can you just see that it's simply fear doing its job? It's
yeah.
part of the journey, because after a while, you do come back up. But could
Right.
you be kinder to yourself whilst you're down here?
It,
And it's
I
critical.
mean, I literally feel like I've moved from the roller coaster visual to like that would move mountains, right? That
Mhm.
would just move mountains. And I know that's what you're doing every day. So
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful.
And I tell
Um.
you, Catherine, if I may, it's not always easy. I know we're talking about this and we're like, yes, yes, exactly, exactly. But
Oh
it's not
yeah.
always easy. It's
Saying
not
it's one thing,
easy.
doing it's a whole nother. So,
No,
yeah.
it's not easy at all, because that's the heat. You're in
Right.
the heat. You're in the fire when you're down here, and it's like, do I run out of the fire? Do I just, let me just no. Can you stand in it?
Amen.
And how
Yeah.
long can you
Yeah.
stand in it? You
Yeah.
know?
And we both have the fire. And we
Yeah.
should mention that we both have the fire in our logo, so I definitely
Yeah.
love that about your business too. And the thing I say, about the fire is that we want to recognize the warmth of it and all the good things. But I think when I don't endorse anybody actually standing physically in a fire, obviously.
No. No, do not try this because
Yeah,
you
don't try
will
this at
fall.
home. Um, but what I mean is that when you become the coach, the entrepreneur, you're already, that takes moving through fear.
Yes.
That takes standing in the risk to be burned. What if it doesn't work out?
Yes.
So I believe that every entrepreneur is, naturally inclined to do this, to move through it. I was really emphasizing the word break,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we want to do. Is like break through fear, punch at it, like break that glass. But what really resonated with me right there was the through, like I
Mm-hmm.
moved through it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think for some people it might be a 1-2 punch, but for
Mm-hmm.
other people, and that's actually my next episode is one step at a time. Is like I talk a lot about finding your rhythm in business
Mm-hmm.
and moving through something at your pace.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, and more on that in a little bit. But I think there's just so much richness to what you have to share, Bisi. So I mean, we've had lunch, and thank God you're close to me here in Georgia. But we could actually have a physical lunch in person, which
Yep.
was wonderful. But I know that our viewers would love to hear more. So, where can they find you? What do you have to share with them?
So for your audience, I would give them a course that I have, and it's called Face
Whole
Your Fear.
course?
Yes, the whole
Okay,
course, Face Your Fear. And this is super important because
face your fear.
face your fear, because the thing is, a lot of people think it's just them. I'm Italian, I'm Nigerian, this is it, and but it's really fear. And you
Mhm.
said something about standing in the fear, standing in the fire, and it strengthens you, and it enables, it's part of the journey. And one of
Right.
the things that Rhonda Britton says in her book about fear is an affirmation of your growth.
Mm.
The only time fear
Goosebumps.
comes through, The only time you feel fear is when you are stepping outside of your comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
which means you're expanding. So
Yes.
instead of you seeing it as a stop, a detour sign, let's pull out the pom poms and celebrate. So
Mm-hmm.
this course here is to really to help you identify what holds you back and keeps you in that comfort zone. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're not
Or the
going
blue
to
drum.
desires. You know? So it helps you put a face to your fear and discover what kind of mindset it is that helps you spin on this wheel. So there's a quiz in there that would help you just
Love a
discover.
good quiz.
There's also a fear response sheet because we have this fear responses to help you identify how your fear shows up. You know, if I said, "Hey, Katherine, could you interview someone?" You're like, "Of course, sure." It's not a thing for you. Somebody else would say, "I'm sweating. I'm overwhelmed. Oh my God, I can't do this."
Yeah.
It's different for everyone. So, what is your response to fear? So that I would love to give that to your audience. It's a
I
$200.
know, I'm going for it. Oh,
Yeah.
$200 value?
Yes.
And you're giving it free?
Free. Listen, but
So
for me,
giving, Bisi. I love it. I am literally after this going and getting it. I don't know if it was just a coincidence, but I have to quickly tell you that so obviously I think living through a pandemic, there's some level of fear in everybody, a journey of that, right? Well, I've evaded COVID until this month, so that's why we delayed our episode. Thank you for
Yep.
being understanding. So I catch COVID, thank God, vaccines and all, and I'm okay. But then I have to take you to a moment, Sunday, my belated birthday party, because yes, I had COVID during my birthday.
of course.
And I'm, on the boat with a family and a few friends. We rented a boat and went out on a lake, and there's a slide on this boat. My daughter, who's 5, and my niece and nephew, who are 6 and 4, are also on the boat, okay? So, my brother-in-law goes down the slide, and he's like, yeah. And then my husband goes down the slide, yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, go, go, go. So I get up there because it's on the top. And I have had this boat before, but I forgot how the slide is. It's on the top deck, and it ends before the boat ends, and then you just like fly off into the water. So I'm up there, and no lie, I'm turned 38 years old, and you like to think you're just like as brave as could be. And literally, it's that incline. I'm like, oh, if it's just not as inclined, I could do it. So I stood up there for at least 10 or 15 minutes, contemplating with fear on my shoulder. And my nephew comes up, the 6-year-old, and he looks, and he's nervous at first. But after a few minutes, he decides to go down. He beat me to it. And then he loved it. And so I'm going to tell you what happened quickly in the story. So I sat on it twice. And I literally, the second time I sat on it, like contemplating going down, I said, it's just like life. You just got to get over the hump. And I literally knew what I needed to do, but I couldn't will myself to it. So I wanted to mention this because I want your final thoughts on this, because what I ended up doing, what I knew I needed, was somebody else to help me. So I said, hon, my husband, I was like, I need you to push me. And so this video I posted on Facebook of me going down the slide, he came behind me, and you don't really see that he's pushing me. He started to do a hard push. I was like, no, but a very gentle nudge. And I closed my eyes and didn't know. And I went down that slide and, screaming. But I just think, I wonder, I think, one, it's so insightful that fear still visits you, and that, whether you're, my daughter went on it after me, which is great, but whether you're 5 or you're 38, like, it still lives in you somewhere, in that inner child.
Yes.
And I think that I just wonder, and I think that's what you do in your job, but like, it's whether it's helping them find the key or giving that gentle nudge. Is that a great illustration of fear?
That is a perfect illustration, Katherine. First off, congratulations. As you were describing this, I'm seeing the people that went before you. So if you're an entrepreneur, let's just put
so relatable.
The people that went before you, see them doing this. You see them, yay, and then you go, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and then you get up there.
I do it.
Yeah, I want to launch a podcast, but I can't. I don't want to. Oh my God, what if
Right.
people? What if people? And then you see the little boy that comes over and he does it. You see people who start after you've started and they take off.
Yeah.
And in that moment, you still also have a choice. You can either look to say, okay, this wasn't meant for me, or okay, so he can do it. I can. And perhaps, all right, this is what I need. I need someone to usher me. Need somebody to guide me. And that's what you did. And
Know
this
what
is
you need.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it. But it
Yeah.
takes awareness. It takes awareness. It takes being kind to yourself. It takes, and you
Yeah. Don't.
mentioned
I'm not
something.
shaming myself for that at all.
Like you said, when the kid went by and you were like, he beat me to it, even just being kind to we're not in a race against one another, right?
Mm-mm.
If
Mm-mm.
anything, he's just
Celebrating
evidence
one
that you
another.
could do it. And I love that you did it. And then your daughter did it after you. Because
Yeah. You know how I got my daughter to do it?
you did?
I didn't push her. I told her, I was like, come on, you can do this. Mama did it. And then I said, well, you won't get a cupcake unless you go down the slide. And I didn't really mean it. I did not really mean it. But she ended up going down and pushing herself down. And later on, like the next day, I said, I'm so proud of you, hon. I'm so proud you went down that slide. Such a brave girl. And then I said, what made you do it? She goes, I wanted the cupcake.
Where's my cupcake? Absolutely. So, and that's also another lesson right there, right? What is it that motivates you? What is it? What is your desire?
Right.
Knowing that your desire and your destination is sure, the in between is just the journey. Her desire was the cupcake. If it's to go down this slide, okay, I'll do it. But I'm having a cupcake.
Yeah. Well, it's so. Thank you for allowing me to share that story, and I think it's just so illustrative of, a couple points. Like, we need each other.
Yes.
And we need those motivation. We need to treat ourselves, and we need motivation. So all of those. I mean, gosh, it's just one word, fear, but distant cousins. All these pieces that touch it. So beautiful. I'm gonna put up where everyone can find you besides the course, which hopefully they've already gotten. So this is your website. And you must follow Bisi on any of these channels you're on. She's on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. I have to say, I told Bisi when we were starting, before we hit live, that I've lived vicariously through her. So I have boat outings and Bisi's all over the country. So she has absolutely beautiful postings and stories to share. So I encourage you to follow her. And with this will be on replay on LinkedIn, but you can also find it on my website hereafter. I just want to thank you again, Bisi, for being here, for being courageous, for day-to-day facing and moving through fear and inspiring others to do the same.
Thank you.
It's invaluable. And I know I mentioned briefly before that our next episode is going to be on one step at a time, as we talk about rhythm and pace in your business. I'm so excited. That's going to be on August 18th at 1:30 Eastern with Jody Klein, and he is a grief coach. So he's a wonderful man, and he has much to share. So I hope you can join that one as well. But for now, any parting words, or we'll wrap up and give people back some time.
Well, thank you. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for allowing me to come and be me. I enjoyed this. Like, we just talked. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, like we're sitting by a fire, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. But here, I think parting words, or not last words, but parting words for now is, you got this. You can do this. There is no reason why I've realized that we cannot live the life that we desire.
Today, starting today.
There really isn't a reason. I don't care what that desire is, but you got to know how to master fear.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for highlighting that. I think that when an entrepreneur begins that journey, you are set out to live the life you desire.
Yes.
So why let fear stop you?
Yeah.
So I hope y'all will contact Bisi, make a friend because she's a wonderful one. And thank you so much for being here, Bisi.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye, everyone.